Un 2 3 1 2 3 Cabina de traducción. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. 1 2 3 1 2 3 Cabina de traducción. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3.
Se lo he hecho por si acaso, que tengan los teléfonos en silencio. Ay, ¿qué pasa? Ay, no me abre, te abre, Carla.
Es que yo no sé por qué tú lo mandaste por correo.
Yo te lo mando. Ya digo la señora.
¿Qué señora?
No, Jesús, ¿me escuchas? Escucha. Jesús, ¿me escuchas? Testing English channel. Testing. Voy, Carla. Testing English. Testing. Testing English. 1 2 3 4 5. Testing. Jesus. Testing English. Testing. Yes, Rafael. Ok, ese es el. Ya te lo mandé, Carla, porque aquí no.
No, bueno, ya lo había podido abrir.
Yo no. O sea, aquí la ven. Testing English 1 2 3 4 5. Testing English. Testing.
Probando, 1, 2, 3. Probando, 1, 2, 3. Ahora sí.
Now we give the floor to Jorge Arrias, Executive Secretary of the Bolivarian Alliance for the Peoples of South America People's Treaty. Good evening. First of all, I would like to thank the Minister of the People's Powers for Tourism in Venezuela, Leticia Gomez, for convening this encounter in this international fair of tourism in Venezuela, in the Táchira state, in the Venezuelan Andes. Here we are represented by the Caribbean, the Amazon rainforest. We have the heart of an alliance such as the Bolivarian Alliance that represents the core of the togetherness of our people, the unity of our peoples. Our Bolivarian alliances is not just a mechanism Jamili Aldama Valdez, Vice Ministry of Tourism of Cuba, Ambassador accredited before to the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela by Bolivia, Sebastian Mitchell, Ambassador accredited to Venezuela from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Garrett Bion, and Melnesia Alina Marshall joined Director from Tourism from St. Kitts and Nevis, Adele Anelta from Antigua and Barbudas, and a special guest, Mario Roberto Nula, Secretary General of the Honduran Tourism Organizations. Welcome, Honduras. We consider you to be part of our alliance. Representative of Dominica, Mikai Walter, from the Ministry of Work and Vice Ministry for the Caribbean, and Executive Directors of the ALBA Bank, Raul Lee Causi. Here we have also present the Governor of Táchira State, Freddy Bernal. We also want to recognize the work of the technical team, political team, who have gathered here and met in the last couple of days in the framework of this fair. They work in the round tables. I forgot, we also have the Ministry of Transportation from Venezuela, General Velázquez Araguayan. It's very important to have you here because Venezuela, with its state airline company, has initiated connection processes with the Caribbean and the countries of our alliances. The main international routes of Conviasa today are, these connections are in the ALBA countries. In this 7th International Tourism Fair, we had the meeting of technical teams of different tourism authorities of our countries, and they talked about the procedures of visa granting, regulations of tourist services, sustainable tourism, language training for tourism, customer service, professional development, and different proposals and agreements on the air services, the development of strategies for routes and operations, the evaluations of the airlines, and the procedures for licensing different operations, trade and selling, joint promotion strategies, innovations and technology, and sustainability and responsibility, social responsibility in the framework of tourism. In some other organizations of integration or coordination of policies, tourism might be seen as a strategy to promote economies, to boost economies for income and to promote a sector of economy, but in our alliance with the heart of the peoples at our hands, the tourist sectors also represents an encounter among our peoples, an opportunity to get to know each other and to recognize each other and to learn from our diverse cultures. The Bolivarian Alliance for the Peoples of our Americas is not unique. It's not because it's diverse. We have Nicaragua, Bolivia, in the heart of South America. We have Cuba and the 6 countries of the Eastern Caribbean in the heart of the Caribbean. We have different languages and origins from different cultures, indigenous peoples, with a shared mother, which is the African mother. She is present in our culture. So that's why tourism is more than an economic activity. Here we have also the presence of Leslie Davy, ambassador from the Republic of Haiti. There you are, welcome. Thank you very much. In a few days, we will have the summit of the head of state of ALBA in Caracas. The, on December 14, we'll be marking 20 years of the Bolivarian Alliance, 20 years from the signing of that alliance between Hugo Chavez and Fidel Castro in Havana, who were commemorating 10 years of the first encounter in 1994 in Havana. It's been 20 years of a rich experience. There's no other integration organization that has accomplished what ALBA has accomplished. More than 5 million people with eye surgeries and thousands of doctors who have come to our countries, have gone to the different countries to give smiles. Also, ALBA with Petrocarib, we financed and generated a method in which oil was at the service of the national development of our peoples and not as a tool of domination as it is used by the capital. So ALBA has a lot to say to the world. We have always stated our, what we wanted to. We have always spoken up. And 13 years after it was happened in October 2023 in Palestine, we have issued 11 communiques, almost one per month. So, dear Minister, I congratulate you for the successful International Fair of Tourism in San Cristobal, Táchira State, and I congratulate you for convening this meeting. Thank you, President Maduro, for having given this opportunity to have this fair in Venezuela. Thank you.
Words from citizen Leticia Holmes, Minister for the People's Powers of Tourism. Dear Ministers, High Authorities of Tourism of ALBA-TCP, Executive Secretary of ALBA, Your Excellencies, Ambassadors, Minister of the People's Powers for Transportation, Ramon Velázquez Araguayan, Governor of Táchira State, Freddy Bernal, Mayors, President of Venezuela's brand, Daniela Cabello, Vice Minister for Multilateral Affairs, Mr. Rubin Darío, Raúl Icausi, President of the Bank of ALBA, special guests, representatives of the touristic sector, both nationally and internationally, ladies and gentlemen. Please, I would like to convey the greetings on behalf of President Nicolás Maduro, Vice President Delcy Rodriguez, and the Venezuelan people, and all of those that have organized this encounter. It is an honor for us to warmly welcome you to our Venezuelan land, and particularly to the beautiful city of San Cristobal here in Táchira State, that since November 28th up to December the 1st has become the world's capital of tourism by receiving the 7th edition of the International Tourism Fair of Venezuela. Today we are finishing a long days of activities in which we have showcased the cultural, touristic, and the transportation potentials of our countries, along with the values that are consecrated in the constitution of our country, along with the self-determination and sovereignty of our peoples. We have set a roadmap that will allow us to strengthen the areas related to touristic areas by promoting multi-destination packages, so we can have an alliance and an identity of ALBA, by also strengthening the flight connectivity. This will translate into an increase of the influx of local and foreign tourists to the different destinations of our countries, and that will have a positive impact in our economies, the development, advancement and wellness of our peoples, by taking into account the principles of social justice, wellness and sustainability. The results of the different working tables were very positive and fruitful. Thank you for the disposition of the different representatives of ALBA-TCP for showing your commitment, consensus, the different attractive cultural and heritage sites of the countries of the region, making themselves a good alternative for tourists of different regions by allowing us to add different niches of the different markets of the touristic industry. We have different concrete actions that would allow us to have early achievements in the short term, like proposals to simplify migration procedures to facilitate the access of tourists to our countries, establishing common standards of quality touristic services, having cultural exchanges, food fairs, and promoting the training and education of the human talent, as well as the creation and implementation of joint strategies for positioning and having touristic marketing of our region by incorporating at the vanguard technology as well as common digital platforms. Touristic integration goes beyond trade strategies. It is a vital tool for the economic and social development of our countries. Through tourism, we can increase employment opportunities, reduce poverty, promote our cultures, strengthen our links in order to build a more prosperous and sustainable future. ALBA-TCP has been and will continue being a fundamental space for the regional integration by showing it is an engine of transformation and development. I would like to invite you to continue working together with commitment and an integrated vision to concretize the different objectives we have proposed today. Thank you very much to all of you.
We give the word to Ramón Araguayana, Minister of People's Powers for Transportation in Venezuela. Good evening. Congratulations to the team of work of tourism led by our Minister Leticia Gomez. I also greet our brother Jorge Arriaza, Secretary General of this great alliance, this Bolivarian alliance. Dear ministers of tourism present, diplomatic representations, Governor Daniela Cabello, President of Marca País, and all of those present here, Raúl Cauces, President of the ALBA Bank. It is an honor for us to participate together with you because the transportation field has a lot of topics to discuss so as to have true integration. As it is said by President Nicolás Maduro, we have to build bridges with our brothers, maritime bridges with our brothers, so there is trade of any kind of goods and that economies are truly integrated. In this regard, our president have directed us to continue strengthening air and maritime connectivity with peoples of the peoples of ALBA. Conviasa is a Venezuelan airline company that, due to investment and vision of President Nicolas Maduro, we have strengthened this airline company. Even though we are under sanctions and threats, out of the 13 international destinations of Conviasa, 7 are ALBA countries. So this is a priority we have given from Conviasa. But at the same time, Venezuela has 10 national airline companies, and from this moment on, we should to improve the mechanisms of air transportation mechanisms so that these Venezuelan airline companies are able to boost tourism in all of our countries, especially Arab countries. As it was said by Minister Leticia Gomez, we need to facilitate the true integration so that our tourists, when they travel from one country to the other, they have the necessary tools, mechanisms in order to facilitate the accommodation, transportation, and general stay in our countries. So reaching agreement within ALBA is important, especially in the field of transportation. Following the guidelines of the governments of these Bolivarian alliances. Also, everything that is related to the granting of visas, taxation, customs, and migration. We have in Venezuela the capacity when it comes to airfield. In the region, we are the 8th country in the airports. In the airports, we have a lot of opportunities in airports, field, and we have all these tools at the disposal to the ALBA member countries. It is important to have a deadline and a place so that our air authorities meet and discuss the instruments so as to fulfill the needs of the air authorities, and in this case the tourism authorities, in order to have a true exchange throughout the region. At the same time, the government of Venezuela, due to the advances promoted by President Nicolas Maduro, we also will support you and support the other countries when it comes to maritime transportation. In the last couple of years, we have manufactured 12 sea transportation units, but they might also be part of a greater tourism company from ALBA, so that we connect passengers from among the islands and together with Venezuela. These are technological mechanisms that our country is improving every day so as to be a tool to connect cargo and passengers when it comes to tourism, taking into consideration the advantages of the beauties of our beaches and the beauties of all of the peoples and nations of the alliance. Also, when it comes to maritime transportation, Venezuela has the capacity of a pier and shipyard, because we have the opportunity for the maintenance of ships in our country. So this is an advantage to our alliance when it comes to transportation in other areas. We have also the infrastructures for the assembling buses and other vehicles, so that we can include sedan vehicles for taxis and buses to provide these vehicles for other countries under the cooperation agreement, a commercial profitable agreement to the country so that we can supply technology and technological tools to strengthen tourism. And we have a lot of technology that we buy to allied countries but are far. Also, when it comes to drones, Venezuela has a manufacturing company of drones so that we can project footage, videos, and we can support as the other countries and when it comes to also images. So we are ready in the transportation ministry to continue strengthening and fulfilling the needs of ALBA countries and the air maritime transportation area. Thank you very much.
Words from citizen Freddy Bernal, Governor of Táchira State. Good afternoon. The first time I would like to highlight today is to congratulate you because we are showing who we are and who we are facing. We are struggling against the empires and the colonies. Having ALBA was a dream of the men that died battling the empires and the colonies. Commander Chavez had the vision and was one of the founders of ALBA-TCP. Despite the difficulties, we continue being together and we will never be subject to any empire. I would like to first congratulate Minister Leticia for such an extraordinary effort to carry out a massive event here in Táchira State. We also have the Secretary General of ALBA, Jorge Arreaza, and the Minister Araguayan and Daniela Cabello from the Venezuelan country brand. She's one of the ambassadors of our country to show the world what Venezuela is. I just wanted to say that this state is located 40 minutes away from Colombia, which has 7 military bases from the US. We currently have an ally president with Petro, but 4 years ago this state was in the hands of the right wing, and it was completely different to what it is today. It was at the mercy of the criminal gangs from Colombia, and that's why President Maduro gave me a task and told me, you must go to Táchira to recover peace. And with an important effort from President Nicolas Maduro, we can now attest that this is a peaceful state. And we are happy to receive 24 ambassadors, representatives of 247 countries, ministers of ALBA-TCP, and this has been an extraordinary event. Not only to show the potential of Venezuela, but also to witness the potential of the world. And this has also been an event of business affairs. In every single corner of these headquarters, we are signing an agreement. There's an exchange, brotherhood, which means Venezuela cannot be stopped by anyone. And despite the permanent threats and challenges, we have found the path to overcome sanctions, and tourism is one of those paths. This is one of the engines that are being promoted by President Maduro. I am honored to be a governor of this state, and here we have 3 engines of economy. We are an agriculture and livestock producer state. We are the first producer of cheese in Venezuela, the second in dairy, and the third for beef production, and 40% of the vegetables consumed in the country are produced here, and each week we have 650 trucks filled with these vegetables. And we are currently working to send those that produce to the Caribbean countries. A few years ago, the borders were closed, but also flights were limited. But thanks to President Maduro, we have reopened the borders, and we have 4 airports available here in Táchira State. We are currently working to turn one of those airports into a layover airport for the Caribbean. That way we can receive the countries of the Caribbean and one of the closest countries to us. And of course we have the production of coal. And lastly, tourism. Up to a few years ago we were not part of tourism, but we understood that we had to face the economic warfare. And as you know, tourism is cross-cutting. When we talk about tourism, we talk about strengthening hotels, transportation, crafts, food, delivery. It is a cross-cutting industry for economy. And that's why it is fundamental to have these kind of meetings in which we strengthen each other. Therefore, together we can overcome obstacles and open new paths for our countries. So, on behalf of Táchira, welcome. And I want to close with the following. In Táchira we have the best fair of the country, which is called the International Fair of San Sebastian, or Saint Sebastian. The next month it will be its 60th anniversary, and I think this is the only state in the world in which Christmas lasts for 2 months. It starts on December the 1st and it ends in January 31st, filled with party, with a joyful energy. And I know you from the Caribbean also enjoy parties as us. So I would like to invite you to this fair. You can arrive since January the 6th. You can December the 6th, and you can enjoy from the energy, dance, sing. So congratulations on ALBA-TCP, and I will be waiting for you in the fair of Saint Sebastian.
We give the floor to our sister Anasha Campbell, co-director of the Nicaraguan Institute of Tourism. Good evening, dear Leticia, Ministry of Tourism of Venezuela, brother Jorge Arriaza, Secretary of ALBA-TCP, Transportation Minister. Thank you for being here in these meetings. It's very important that articulation among all the institutions in order to facilitate the development of the tourist sector. Brother Raul Licausi, President of the Bank of ALBA. I don't know if Daniela is still here, but we also conveyed our salutation to you, to the governor, and we had the opportunity to have a meeting with him. To all the ministers, vice ministers, and high-level authorities on tourism of ALBA-TCP, and all ambassadors accredited to the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela that are joining us today, and as well as the businessmen and women of the sector. A warm salutation on behalf of our President Commander Daniel Ortega and our Vice President Rosario Murillo, and the people of Sandino, the people of Darío. It is a great honor being here in this sixth ministerial encounter. Firstly, I would like to congratulate the dear minister for this great effort. We had a virtual meeting, I think it was on October the 3rd. We talked about the need of advancing in the working tables to put into actions put the ideas into actions and to have the concrete results on tourism for our regions and to organize this event in such a short time. We congratulate you for that and also the technical team who met yesterday to advance all the proposals that will be presented. I also congratulate you for the successful of the 7th International Tourism Fair of Venezuela. It's been a success, and I also thank the Ministry of Tourism and the people and government of Venezuela, the Thatcher state, for the hospitality and the services provided during our stay in the brotherly sister of Venezuela, the brotherly sister and sisterly nation of Venezuela. In Nicaragua, we believe that we have to take advantage of these meetings before the summit that will take place in December, because there are some topics that don't depend only on tourism authorities. Some topics must be approved by the foreign affairs ministers and different institutions related to migration, customs, transportation, so that we are able to advance all the ideas related to migration, customs, and when it comes to air connectivity, that had been a bottleneck to mobilize tourism among our countries, and also to work from the perspective of multi-destination to attract tourists from other regions to our countries. I believe if we are clear about this, not only inter-regional tourism, but also we have to work and together to present ourselves as a multi-destination region to areas like China, Russia, Turkey. Conviasa, Venezuela airline has a lot of connectivity, and for those tourists is more attractive to visit 2 or 3 countries in a single trip. I think we have advanced a lot. I think we also discussed the idea of having a regional tourism brand that identified the bloc as ALBA-TCP. We also discussed the exchange of experiences and good practices, training. Those are topics that are related to tourism, and I think we can advance quickly in this regard, and to take advantages of the strength of the different countries to continue building on of our talent, to guarantee the quality of the tourist service, and to turn those tourists in promoters of each one of our countries. I want to reiterate our disposals in Nicaragua to continue contributing to this process of development of tourist sectors in the different roundtables. We will bring to the table our experience, and we are at your disposal. I think one of the key positive aspects is not only the working tables, but the definitions of deadlines, and we have specific goals so that we can follow up these ideas, a systematic systematic measures of results. So we assess what we have accomplished and what we I still have to accomplish, and we have a roadmap. I think it's positive, different positive aspects that were addressed yesterday in the meeting. It's an opportunity also to assess the incorporation of other actors. For example, we have here the Ministry of Transportation. It is important to take into consideration the articulations in this regard, because tourism is a transversal or cost-cutting area, because we can generate also foreign exchange, but tourism is also related to human development of our peoples, the improvement of the quality of life of our population. So as we articulate our efforts with the different actors, we'll have better results. I congratulate you once again, dear Leticia, and the Secretary of ALBA, Executive Secretary of ALBA, for taking into consideration the technical aspects so as to have results, concrete results. Thank you very much. I congratulate you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you for being always present. And I always thank you for your commitment and participation in our international affairs, because your contributions always go beyond that economic impact of tourism, but you also cover social issues that through tourism we've been able to develop. I am very satisfied with the results of the working tables, because we were focused on having concrete results, and I think we have achieved even some elements with early victories, because amongst us we can organize cultural and food fairs that like the ones we agreed with Cuba this morning. And I will give the floor to Adrian Agustin Thomas, Minister of Tourism, Creative Economy and Culture from Grenada. Muchas gracias, Ministra. Granada está muy feliz de ser parte de esta Feria Internacional de Turismo. Estamos muy agradecidos por la invitación y de hecho estamos muy orgullosos de ser miembros del ALBA-TCP. Les traigo los saludos de Granada, por supuesto, el gobierno y el pueblo de Granada y el ministro de Turismo en particular. Y aquí tengo al secretario permanente conmigo, saluda por favor, y a otros miembros de nuestra delegación. Vinimos con una misión, la misión de ser parte de esta organización tan importante que muchas personas sienten que desde esta parte del mundo pueden tomar la iniciativa, organizarse y desarrollar aquello que los imperios creen que no podemos hacer, aquellos que han dominado el mundo solo para ellos. Entonces yo creo que realmente podemos lograr el desarrollo del pueblo de la región y lograr el progreso que nuestros ancestros soñaron para nosotros en el pasado. Esta actividad es muy importante para Granada. El turismo es el sector más importante en nuestro país y tiene una contribución significativa al PIB de nuestro país. Y por supuesto, el turismo contribuye en un 40% al PIB de nuestro país. Además, hemos logrado atraer a las mejores personas del mundo con nuestro turismo y por eso tenemos la responsabilidad de mejorar Granada como un destino turístico. Y cuando hablo de promover el país, sabemos que no siempre vamos a obtener los resultados que queremos. Por eso hay áreas tan importantes como la facilitación del transporte y por eso agradezco tener al ministro de Transporte aquí con nosotros, porque la conectividad es fundamental en la región. Por eso tenemos que evaluar lo que podemos, qué tanto podemos compartir con nuestros hermanos y hermanas de la región.
Whereby we attract people from North America and Europe
país recibimos a personas de
who are much
el norte de América
further away
y de Europa.
than our brothers and sisters in Latin America.
Y tenemos que preguntarnos si también podemos
And
hacer
we
lo
believe
mismo con
that
nuestros hermanos
ALBA
en
has a
Latinoamérica y
responsibility
Sudamérica. Por eso creemos
help
que ALBA tiene la
countries like
responsabilidad
and the rest
de
of the
ayudar
OCS
a países como
to put the systems
Granada
in
y
place so that
países
we may attract
del Caribe del
the right
Este
people.
para atraer
We were very
a
happy
las
to also put
personas
in
adecuadas. Por eso también
our exhibition.
estamos muy
We have
felices
products that
de
the world
que
needs.
hayan visto nuestro
We have products that
stand,
the
nuestra
world-
exhibición en el
that the
pabellón
world
internacional y le mostramos
And
los
therefore we believe
productos
through
que
tourism,
el
what we call in
mundo
Grenada
puede
sometimes
aprovechar.
soft export of our products,
para
where the
que
tourists will
puedan
come to
ver el
Grenada and
potencial de
purchase
exportación de productos que
products
tiene
that we will
Granada,
not be able to export in
productos
large quantity.
que en el pasado no hemos podido
And we had an opportunity here
exportar en grandes
in this fair
cantidades. Por eso es que en
to
esta
put and
feria
show some of the fine
tenemos
products that we have.
la
So
capacidad
we are very
de
grateful to be part of
demostrar
ALBA,
y
and once again I want to
estos
thank the
maravillosos
organizers for this
productos.
fantastic
Una vez
event.
más quiero
It's
agradecer a
very,
los
very
organizadores
important,
por este evento
and I look forward
fantástico.
to
Es una oportunidad muy
ALBA-TCP
importante
2025.
y estaré esperando a lo que hagamos con ALBA-TCP en el 2025. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Minister. Le damos la palabra a la viceministra de Turismo de Cuba, Yamili Aldama Valdés.
Good evening to you all.
Compañera Leticia Gómez Hernández,
Dear
ministra del
Leticia
Poder
Gómez
Popular
Hernández,
para el
Ministry
Turismo de la
of
República Bolivariana de
Tourism
Venezuela,
of Venezuela,
embajador Jorge
Ambassador
Alberto
Jorge Arreaza Montserrat, Executive Secretary of the Bolivarian Alliance for the Peoples of America,
Tratado de Comercio de los Pueblos,
ALBA-TCP,
señor Ramón
Velázquez, Ministry of Transportation. I think
todo el sentimiento que tenemos del
we shared
acompañamiento de usted hoy aquí
this
por lo que
idea
representa este ministerio en el
because
desarrollo del
we
turismo,
completely
sobre
support
todo de todas
your
nuestras
presence here
comunidades
because
conjunto,
this
el trabajo
presence is
que, como
important
usted
for
bien
the
decía,
development of our
deben
community in
desarrollar
this
las
jointly
aeronáuticas de todos nuestros
work
países.
for the development of
Señor
the
Raúl
airline
Lee,
companies of our companies.
presidente del Banco del ALBA,
Raúl Lee,
Daniela
president of
Cabello,
the ALBA Bank,
presidenta
Daniela
del Instituto de la
Cabello,
Marca País, que
president
bueno,
of
ha
Venezuelan
salido, pero
Brand.
igual le damos nuestro saludo.
We convey our
Señor
salutations, Freddy Bernal,
gobernador de
Governor of Táchira State, ministers, high-level authorities of tourism of ALBA-TCP, and your guests, diplomatic corps accredited here present, actors of the tourist sectors, press, and participants. I conveyed our warm salutations on behalf of our Ministry of Tourism, Juan Carlos Gancila Granda, and on behalf of the people of Cuba, and on my behalf. First, I would thank you for the hospitality with which you have greeted us in this land of history of union, the land of Bolivar. We recognize the work of the Executive Secretary of ALBA-TCP for convening this meeting, which is enriching for all of us, and from the authorities of, and we also thank the authorities of the Ministry of Tourism of Venezuela and Minister Leticia Gomez. We here ratified our commitment to continue working together, and we wish you very success in your work. As you all know, Cuba is under a financial and economic blockade imposed by the government of the United States, and the inclusion of Cuba on the list of countries that promote terrorism has had an impact on tourist sectors in Cuba that it's under recovery. I thank the peoples and governments of the ALBA-TCP member countries for their support to our demand to take Cuba out of this unilateral list, and for the call to lift the blockade that has been affecting us for more than 60 years and affecting the well-being of our citizens. It's an honor being here together with countries, brothers of ALBA-TCP in the framework of the International Tourism Fair 5th event 2024. This event represents an opportunity which is unique to establish, renew, and consolidate cooperation bound in the regions that allow us to boost tourism as a development engine of our economies. Cooperation and solidarity must be our guide in the face of an adverse international scenario. The pandemic, the effects of climate change, and the economic crisis has tested our resilience capacity. In the midst of these challenges, we must remember that unity among our countries is fundamental. ALBA must be not only an institution of political exchange, but also an engine of economic cooperation that boosts, promote joint strategies that strengthen our policies and the characters of the nations as it is defined in the principles of our organizations. Our commitment with a sustainable and resilient tourism must be translated into concrete actions that contribute to the strengthening of our natural resources and cultural resources and the protection of the identities of our peoples. It is key to maintain and reinforce air connectivity among our countries, thus facilitating multi-destinations not only as a strategy to increase influx of visitors but also as an act of unity and reciprocity that strengthen our nations. This is a task we must work on to guarantee interconnectivity and interconnection needed by authority. We must align our efforts to strengthen our identity and cultures so that tourism is the basis for strengthening our economies. We must take advantage of this platform to promote the values, tourist resources, and the beauty of our countries, thus contributing to our shared commitment. In an ever-changing context, the tourist offers must be adapted to the demands of travelers and the authentic and innovative experiences. In ALBA, we have a robust infrastructure that has access to airports, international ports, and cruise sport, as well as a great hotel network. This strength allows us to create products and routes adapted to the different kind of client. Together, we encompass a territory of 2.2 million square kilometers with a lot of resources to share and enjoy: archaeological sites, unique cities, national parks, and biosphere reserves, Caribbean islands, and sandy beaches. Our heritage and bioparks are a cultural richness that we must tap into. Not only that, but also climate, the colors of the Caribbean, but most of all, our people with their hospitality, kindness. These are the richness we have to offer to the world. I'm convinced that the proposal of multi-destination tourism, boosted by our common strength, will bring unique experiences. That's why I invite you all to continue working in this regard, promoting cooperation and exchange of ideas. Only finding common ground, we will face the challenges ahead. Cuba will always be there to share its modest experiences in the development of tourism with the brothers and sisters of ALBA-TCP. We have made that clear in each one of the working tables in order to strengthen the unity for the benefit of all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vice Minister. Now we will give the floor to the Ambassador of the Plurinational State of Bolivia. Thank you very much for your hospitality, Minister Leticia Gomez, and for so many years of support to the management of coordination of tourism with Bolivia. Thank you, Jorge, for everything you have done as a foreign minister and now as secretary of ALBA. Mr. Araguayan, I remember the first visit to Bolivia. I remember you were given 30 days, and on the 26th day we were having our inaugurating first flight. Conviasa with BOA is moving around 1,000 passengers each week. And that's why we want to move also to the bigger markets. We have also worked with Raúl Licausi, with the Bank of ALBA, pending issues, new projects, and also Rubén Darío Molina, with whom we have a whole trajectory working, and it's unfortunate that Governor Freddy Bernal had to leave because he visited Bolivia for the first time in 2001, and he's an old friend of ours. We are assembling from ALBA a strategy for tourism in a very adverse and complex environment, and there's the possibility that it will be even more complex in the next years, in the next months. That's why we must establish some way out that's not as difficult, but we must understand that in the next trimester the situation can become even more complex. And in that sense, when everything seems so blurry, when it is not clear what's going to happen, we must focus on those variables we can control. And that means we must know who we are, ensure that we can count of those airspaces and with those destinations. And also aware that if we continue producing goods and services, that producing goods and services only depends on us. It's a variable that we can fully control from our countries. We remember the issue with the cable car. When we couldn't find part of the materials, we looked for other markets. And when I talk about goods and services, we must also have a more selective process of destinations. It is important to be connected, but also the fact that we cannot choose every single pretty place in all of our countries, because we must focus strategies. For example, France is beautiful, but they have positioned Paris and the province and some areas in the south. And that's why the signature cities in Europe, for example, you go from London to Paris and to Italy, to Rome. So that's why we must focus on a few destinations in our countries to invest all of our energies there. Then we must also talk about the markets. We would of course like to have a market with a greater volume of people, with a greater purchasing power, but we have to count on each other. We must look for ALBA countries and the giants of Latin America. Conviasa has been building a great hub because they are promoting the fact that other airlines should increase their frequency of flights as they have been doing. They were promoting and incentivizing Rutaca, Laser, and other airlines. But if we are selfish, tourism is going to die out. And thirdly, we will have our ally big countries, Turkey, China, Russia, that have a good volume of passengers, tourists, and they also have issues with payment systems, which is something we can solve for them. We can offer an alternative. Of course, we cannot always congratulate each other and blind ourselves, because we must realize the situations or the sectors in which we must improve infrastructure, because we still have to improve airports, ports. That's a permanent challenge for us. And for example, I have seen the difference between our airport in Bolivia to the difference in here in Venezuela, in Maiquetía, in La Guaira. I see the massive difference, and I say, oh, we have to improve. Then standards in hospitality, because sometimes they're not as clear and we're trying to do everything at the same time. and we don't realize that we must improve our standards. And when you have bad ratings, for example, you must try to improve, and if you receive good ratings, you must continue improving, because if we are going to increase tourism, we must avoid providing bad hospitality, bad transportation, bad food. And lastly, political agreements, which are fundamental because they impact visas. We know we cannot all have agreements on visas, but we must continue start advancing on this issue, because besides the difficulties in obtaining visas, this can also be a threat to security, and this will allow us to have more mobility, then freedoms. Even with allied countries, we have had many issues in terms of civil aeronautics. We have had difficulties when using the hubs of other countries. And the last challenges is having shared codes. The fact that when I go to that I use BOA and then Conversa airline, I should be able to use one ticket, one code. I shouldn't have to be buying a ticket in this airline and another ticket in the other airline if I am only going to one place. We must solve these issues by pressuring our authorities. I think we are on the right path, but we must continue working, having hard work in order to improve quality of service, select the right destinations. We shouldn't try to have global destinations like, oh, you to that country and you will see, you will decide for yourself what you're going to visit. No, we must offer focused right destinations, because the idea is that when we visit another country, we are as comfortable as we are in ours. Continue dancing, continue enjoying, continue singing, and that's the right and good facade of tourism. And thank you for receiving me in such a beautiful Andean region. Thank you. We will now give the floor to the accredited ambassador to the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela and the National Coordinator of San Vincent and the Grenadines before ALBA-TCP, Mr. Gareth Baino.
Es un gran honor estar aquí presente de esta alianza en nombre de nuestros ministros de turismo en San Vicente de las Granadinas, que no pudo estar aquí presente con nosotros. Les agradecemos, ministras y a su equipo por el trabajo que han hecho durante la FITBEN en 2024, y también a los hermanos y hermanas del estado de Táchira. Quiero aprovechar la oportunidad para reconocer al ministro también Ramón, al secretario ejecutivo Jorge Arreaza. Lamentablemente mis representantes del gobierno no están aquí, pero también quiero reconocer al hermano Freddy, viceministro Rubén, y creo que Daniela ya se fue. En primer lugar, quería asegurar el apoyo inquebrantable de San Vicente y las Granadinas y solidaridad con los miembros de nuestra alianza, especialmente en Nicaragua, Cuba y Venezuela, quienes a diario enfrentan medidas unilaterales, coercitivas, ilegales, impuestas. Repetimos hoy nuestro llamado por la eliminación de todas las sanciones unilaterales contra nuestras naciones hermanas y la eliminación de Cuba de la lista de países patrocinadores del terrorismo. Estas sanciones unilaterales no tienen lugar en el sistema internacional y afectan de forma significativa a todos los sectores esenciales de la economía, incluyendo el sector de turismo. Lo anterior junto con los efectos de la pandemia de la COVID, los efectos del cambio climático y otros problemas globales que afectan a los miembros de la alianza, comprometen nuestra capacidad de cumplir con los objetivos de desarrollo sostenible. Este es el contexto de nuestra sexta reunión de ministros y ministras y altas autoridades de turismo del ALBA-TCP, y por eso tenemos que comprometernos una vez más como naciones independientes y soberanas, como una ALBA, en espíritu de solidaridad, unidad y complementariedad. Distinguidos ministros, excelencias, el año 2024 comenzó de forma positiva para la industria turística en San Vicente de las Granadinas, al continuar la recuperación de los resultados de lo que pasó por la categoría del huracán Barrel también afectó nuestro país y el país vecino Granada, dos miembros de nuestra alianza. Es importante destacar que desde el inicio de este siglo es el desastre natural número 12 que afecta a San Vicente y las Granadinas. El huracán Barrel acabó con gran parte de nuestra población y afectó nuestra población y trajo efectos negativos en el PIB. Los efectos de alivio y reconstrucción siguen. En nombre del gobierno de San Vicente de las Granadinas, mi delegación agradece a todos los países, incluyendo los miembros de nuestra alianza, quienes nos han ayudado de forma inmediata tras el huracán Beryl. La recuperación y reconstrucción después de cada desastre natural es una mayor carga, y los países como el mío, al igual de Granada, han contribuido al cambio climático, pero muy poco. Sin embargo, sufrimos grandemente los efectos en la primera línea. Para países como nosotros es importante recordar que debemos fortalecer nuestra industria del turismo. San Vicente y las Granadinas ha progresado en el sector turístico y hemos reconocido que esto no significa construir y reconstruir de forma mejor y más fuerte, sino también con políticas y enfoques que sean prácticos, inclusivos y que apunten a mitigar los riesgos, diversifiquen las ofertas, prioricen la preparación y la adaptación. En este sentido, hemos tomado iniciativas para impulsar nuestro sector de turismo, construyendo puertos en nuestras capitales, junto con empresas y la apertura de nuevos hoteles. En estos tiempos impredecibles, construir resiliencia y sostenibilidad en el sector turístico es prioridad, especialmente para los países que dependen del turismo como el mío. La sostenibilidad de esta industria depende, sin embargo, en la creación de ecosistemas que puedan prosperar en un mundo que siga avanzando. ¿Qué pasará en la próxima crisis? ¿O qué pasará en 2025, en la temporada de huracanes? En el ALBA-TCP estamos al tanto de los desafíos y vulnerabilidades que enfrentan muchos de nuestros destinos turísticos. Estamos conscientes de que tenemos que responder a estos desafíos y vulnerabilidades de una forma integrada, mientras preservamos los bienes culturales y naturales que son únicos de nuestros países miembros. Si nuestra alianza posee posibilidades y fortalezas, y juntos podemos divisar e implementar soluciones para transformar a toda la región. Por lo tanto, Es importante tener un entendimiento claro de las consecuencias de nuestras medidas de transformación para garantizar la sostenibilidad de nuestros productos turísticos de todos los países miembros. San Vicente y las Granadinas recibe con beneficio todas las decisiones de las mesas de trabajo. Notamos que los esfuerzos cohesivos para apoyar la sostenibilidad del turismo en los equipos de trabajos es importante. Por lo tanto, mi delegación felicita a todos los expertos técnicos por el trabajo de estos 2 últimos días. Ministros, excelencias, el turismo sigue siendo uno de los sectores más importantes para los miembros de nuestras alianzas, para la vida, la productividad, el impulso de desarrollo sostenible para los pueblos de nuestros países, su naturaleza multidimensional para lograr la Agenda 2030 es importante para la erradicación de la pobreza, la creación de empleos decentes, la protección del medio ambiente y la mejora de la vida de calidad para todos los pueblos. En este sentido, nuestros esfuerzos en los últimos días en unión de compromisos del sector del turismo para impulsar la capacidad y aumentar la contribución del turismo para la Agenda de Desarrollo Sostenible es una tarea esencial. Para concluir, mi delegación subraya que ante los desafíos de la naturaleza, el cambio climático, los cambios geopolíticos, estos son desafíos significativos para la recuperación sostenida del turismo internacional y han hecho imperativo que nuestra alianza se reconstruya de mejor forma y más fortalecida para reconocer y reconociendo sus capacidades operativas. En este sentido, colegas, debemos comprometernos firmemente a los ideales, principios y visión de nuestros fundadores, ancestros, para continuar avanzando en nuestras aspiraciones regionales de unidad, solidaridad, integración, cooperación, desarrollo sostenible y prosperidad para el desarrollo de nuestros pueblos y la humanidad. Muchas gracias.
Now we give the floor to the representative of St. Kitts and Nevis, Malaysia, Alina Marshall. Buenas tardes. Gracias, ministra, por la invitación. También quiero saludar en nombre del ministro de Turismo, Marcy T. Henderson, al secretario general, así como a la ministra de Turismo, y creo que ya el gobernador no está aquí con nosotros. También tengo aquí conmigo al secretario permanente del Ministerio del Turismo y a nuestra delegación de San Cristóbal y Nieves, que han sido parte de los diferentes mesas de trabajo técnicas. Déjenme comenzar por agradecerles por permitirnos levantar nuestra voz y compartir nuestra experiencia en las diferentes discusiones de los días anteriores sobre turismo en la región. Quiero decir que nuestro país es el país más pequeño en el hemisferio occidente, el más pequeño independiente. Y hemos sido testigos del poder transformador del turismo en nuestra economía y su habilidad para erradicar la pobreza y generar empleo, lo cual lleva a una mejora de las condiciones de vida de nuestros pueblos. El Caribe es nuestro mercado fuente, el segundo más grande en nuestro país, después del norte de América, y es por eso que el viaje intrarregional es un componente clave en el futuro. El pueblo de nuestro país es uno muy orgulloso de sí mismo Y la clave está en la calidez de nuestro pueblo, nuestra cultura y la riqueza de nuestra historia. Por eso quiero agradecerles por rendir tributo a nuestro primer ministro, el señor Blanchard. El turismo para San Cristóbal es mucho más que playas, mar y sol. Nosotros en la parte occidental tenemos otras riquezas y mientras tratamos de diferenciarnos del resto de países del Caribe, tratamos de darle a los turistas, una experiencia inmersiva. Es por eso que también la sostenibilidad está en el núcleo de nuestros esfuerzos y es por eso que es crítico que la resiliencia verdadera venga con una agenda sostenible, tal como se ha propuesto por nuestro primer ministro. Esta agenda está basada en una plataforma que tenga energía renovable y la diversificación de nuestra economía. Al estar aquí, estamos agradecidos por las oportunidades que nos dan de diversificar nuestros productos turísticos para reducir la dependencia en los mercados ya existentes en nuestro país. De nuevo quiero agradecerles, fue un placer compartir nuestras voces en las diferentes discusiones que tuvimos. Muchas gracias.
We give the floor to Adele Anelta Camelita Blair, Official of Sustainable Tourism from Antigua and Barbuda. Gracias, señora ministra. Me gustaría también reconocer al secretario general y al ministro de Transporte. Compañeros, el gobierno de Antigua y Barbuda se contenta de ser parte de este evento hoy y está complacido. Y traemos los saludos de nuestro primer ministro, señor Charles Fernández, y nuestro ministro de Turismo, que tiene otros compromisos en este momento. Queremos agradecer al pueblo de Venezuela, en especial el estado de Táchira, por la gran hospitalidad que nos han dado. Y queremos comprometernos más una vez y a nuestro país Antigua y Barbuda con el ALBA-TCP y queremos presentar en las mesas nuestra gran experiencia en turismo como un destino maduro y seguimos comprometidos con las actas preparadas. Con los cambios que hay en el mundo, reconocemos que debemos desarrollar métodos más sostenibles debido al cambio climático. También sabemos del impacto significativo que tiene el cambio climático en este sector y debido a su vulnerabilidad, muchas de nuestras economías se ven amenazadas. Por lo tanto, seguimos comprometidos con los valores del ALBA-TCP y buscamos siguiendo trabajando en este sentido. Muchas gracias.
Now we will give the floor to the special guest of the Republic of Honduras, Mario Roberto Lacoto, General Secretary of the State Secretary in the Office of Tourism and the Honduras Institute of Tourism. Thank you very much, dear Minister. Could you please come closer to the mic, please? Thank you very much, Minister Leticia Holmes, Executive Secretary of ALBA, Jorge Arreaza, Minister of Transportation, Mr. Velázquez Araguayan, and all the colleagues, ministers, vice ministers, and high authorities of tourism, dear ambassadors. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. When Hondurans listen to the word tourism, we remember the solidarity that we have received from our peoples throughout the history and throughout recent years. Honduras will integrate to ALBA with the hope that Latin American citizens will replicate our action. In 2009, our President Manuel Zelaya Rosales was toppled by a coup d'etat, and the first actions of help received came from ALBA, especially Commander Hugo Chavez, who we believe is our older brother. And that's why we would like to thank the people of Venezuela and our Latin American brothers. Thank you for welcoming us again in ALBA to build our future, to continue struggling and continue prevailing. Tourism is an opportunity that has gathered us today. And what we were discussing in the working groups is that we have a gifted nature, a great human quality, and of course unique beaches, seas, but also the richness of our culture, our food, archaeology are unique in the world. Therefore, if we work united, we will turn tourism into the instrument of brotherhood and advancement of our people. So that's why it is so important for us to be here, and from our capacities, of course, with its limitations, want to be at the disposal of this instrument of ALBA to generate a stronger Latin America, and especially a zone of peace, human development, and social welfare for our homelands. Brothers, thank you for this opportunity. We know that we will advance, improve, and we will become full members of ALBA once again. I can assure that. Thank you.
We give the floor to Development Officer in the Ministry of Work of Dominica, Mika Walter. Muchas gracias, estimados ministros. Por favor, que se pegue al micrófono. Nuestro ministro de Turismo no pudo, lamentablemente, llegar a esta reunión. Es un honor asistir a esta reunión de alto nivel en nombre del gobierno y el pueblo de Dominica. En primer lugar, expreso nuestro agradecimiento de corazón por reunir a este foro con expertos técnicos en el grupo de discusión de alto nivel. Además, estamos orgullosos de ser parte de la FITVEN y de la reunión ministerial, que nos ha dado una plataforma de diálogo, colaboración y acción con gran valor. Estamos contentos de estar aquí. Muchas gracias al ALBA por la valentía que ha tenido durante años. Esta gran alianza ha traído beneficios a nuestros pueblos y economía. Debemos agradecer al pueblo y al gobierno de Venezuela por la amistad de vieja data con Dominica y por ser un anfitrión de tanta hospitalidad en la FITBEN 2024. Estamos muy agradecidos por la hospitalidad. Dominica, la isla de la naturaleza del mundo, está contentísima por participar en la FITBEN. Estamos muy emocionados de presentar la belleza natural sin comparaciones de nuestra isla, pero también nuestros objetivos de desarrollo sostenible, que se centran en el ecoturismo, resiliencia y creatividad. Nuestros 7 pilares del turismo centran nuestros esfuerzos y recursos en áreas prioritarias: acuaturismo, agroturismo, aventura, salud y bienestar, festival y eventos, la experiencia carne y lago y romance en la naturaleza. Los principales proyectos en los que nos hemos embarcado apuntan a avanzar el desarrollo del turismo en Dominica, mientras se garantiza el bienestar a largo plazo del medio ambiente y de las comunidades. Estamos orgullosos de compartir el progreso en el desarrollo de energía, el proyecto de teleféricos, nuevos hoteles y una gran reserva en el mundo. Estamos comprometidos con las iniciativas de desarrollo económico, empoderamiento de nuestros pueblos y en la construcción de economías resilientes, a pesar de los desafíos del cambio climático. La plataforma de la FITBEN fue muy bien pensada. Una oportunidad grande para presentar a esta isla de naturaleza a una audiencia internacional y hacer redes con aliados importantes en el ALBA. Muestra nuestra fortaleza y abre puertas para el diálogo significativos que fortalecen nuestra posición en el mercado regional y mundial del turismo. La organización de las reuniones técnicas nos dieron un marco a los delegados para planificar el futuro del turismo para los pueblos del ALBA de forma colectiva, impulsando la colaboración y encontrar acuerdos en acciones prioridades esenciales. Estamos muy orgullosos del trabajo que se ha logrado en los últimos días. Desde nuestro punto de vista, las discusiones de las mesas han sido altamente productivas. Aprovechamos la oportunidad para destacar puntos importantes que son de gran importancia para Dominica. En primer lugar, pasos claros y fechas importantes para traducir estas visiones. Enfatizamos esta necesidad de tener fechas límites, un enfoque estructural que nos dé resultados medibles, diálogo continuo y compromiso. El diálogo no se debe limitar a eventos anuales. Defendemos ampliamente el compromiso continuo y sostenido durante todo el año para mantener el ímpetu y tener mayores colaboraciones. 3. Marcos orientados por la acción. Es esencial trabajar activamente hacia los objetivos y acciones identificados en nuestras discusiones, acompañados por mecanismos robustos para evaluar el proceso. 4. Conectividad y acceso aéreo. mejorar la
remains a
conectividad y
critical
el
priority for
coste sigue
Dominica and the
siendo
region.
una prioridad para Dominica y
Enhanced
para la región.
transportation links
Mejorar
will
los
unlock
vínculos de
the full
transportes
potential
van
of
a
our tourism and trade
desatar
sectors.
el pleno potencial del sector de
5.
turismo.
Joint marketing
Quinto,
initiatives.
iniciativas de
We
mercado
propose
conjuntos. Proponemos
collaborative marketing strategies
estrategias de
that
marketing
leverage our unique
colaborativas
selling points,
que
bonding them
den
into comprehensive vacation
fuerza
packages
a los
to
paquetes de
attract a
vacaciones para
broader
atraer
audience.
a una
For
audiencia
example,
extranjera. Por
the
ejemplo,
creation of
la
an
creación
ALBA-TCP website
de una página web
which will
ALBA-TCP
showcase not
que
only
muestre no
multi-destination
solo
packages,
los paquetes
but equally the
multidestinos, sino que
respective
también
member states'
muestre
tourism products. 6. Capacity building. Developing human capital is crucial for our success. We need support in training initiatives such as culinary arts, marketing, cultural presentation, and customer service to elevate the quality and competitiveness of our offerings. 7. Opportunities for increased trade. We propose the exploration of avenues to enhance trade
exploración de
within the ALBA
diferentes
bloc,
iniciativas en
which
el
is crucial
ALBA
for
que son
socio-economic
cruciales para la
integration.
integración socioeconómica.
The need therefore exists to
Entonces,
engage our
estas son
ministers of
importantes.
trade
Es
and
importante que
high-level
nuestros
technical
ministros de comercios
professionals
y profesionales
in
técnicos de altos
discussion to
niveles
develop feasible
se
roadmap.
reúnan para discutir una hoja de ruta
We
viable.
extend our deepest gratitude
Extendemos nuestro mayor
involved in
agradecimiento a
making this
todos los que
gathering a
participaron
success,
en el
particularly
éxito de esta reunión,
the new Minister of
especialmente
Tourism
a la
of
nueva
Venezuela,
ministra de
Honorable
Turismo de Venezuela, la honorable
Cecilia
Leticia
Gomez Hernandez.
Gómez.
Correct.
Correcto.
All right.
Correcto.
For her tireless
Por
efforts
su
and
esfuerzo
leadership.
incansable y liderazgo.
Your Excellency,
Su excelencia,
our Honorable Minister conveys her
honorables
congratulations
ministros,
and wishes you
expresamos
every
nuestras
success
felicitaciones y le deseamos
and looks
éxito
forward to working
y esperamos
closely
seguir
with you
trabajando
in the years to come to
con
build
usted en los próximos años
a more
para
resilient
generar
region
una
and
región más
strengthen our
resiliente y
economies.
para fortalecer nuestras
We look
economías.
forward to
Esperamos
the ALBA community advancing
en
our
el
shared
avance
objectives.
de los objetivos comunes de la comunidad del ALBA.
Excellency,
Su excelencia.
this is an excellent model presented
Este
by
es un
Venezuela.
excelente modelo que presentó
In the
Venezuela.
future,
En el futuro,
we would hope to see the
esperamos
successful tourism
ver
event
que este evento de
and
turismo
ministerial
exitoso
meetings
y
replicate
las
throughout
reuniones
ALBA
ministeriales se
in
repliquen en
various
todo el
member
ALBA, en
states
los diferentes
to allow
estados miembros,
more
de manera
engaging,
que
more engagement
haya
and
mayor
increased travel
participación
amongst
y
member states.
mayor cantidad
So
de
we
viajes
can
entre nuestros
deepen
estados
our
miembros para que
relationships.
podamos profundizar
Your
nuestras
Excellencies,
relaciones. Sus
There is
excelencias,
so much
hay muchísimo
we can achieve
que
together.
podemos lograr juntos.
Let's utilize
Entonces, usemos
ALBA-TCP
al ALBA-TCP
2024 as a
y
springboard
esta
to
reunión de
create new
2024
trends.
como
So
un
travelers
punto
are
para
exposed
crear
to
nuevas
the ALBA
tendencias para
multi-destination
los
tourism
viajeros
packages.
y exponer, presentar los paquetes multidestinos del ALBA. Una vez más, encomio
For
al
its
ALBA
unwavering
por su
commitment to
compromiso
fostering regional
inquebrantable
cooperation
para promover la
and
cooperación
strengthening
regional y el
ties
fortalecimiento
amongst
de
member
lazos
states.
entre los Estados
In
miembros.
closing,
Para
we
concluir,
reiterate Dominica's
reiteramos el
commitment
compromiso de
working
Dominica
collaboratively
para trabajar de forma
all members of ALBA.
en colaboración con todos
We
los
are
miembros del
committed
ALBA.
to the success of ALBA.
Estamos comprometidos con
We
el
are
éxito del
committed
ALBA,
to
estamos
working-
comprometidos con el
We are committed to
trabajo,
continuing the hard work
y
to achieve our collective
continuar
goals.
el trabajo que
Viva
hemos alcanzado.
ALBA-TCP.
Viva el
Thank you.
ALBA-TCP. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. La palabra
We will now give the floor to Mr. Raúl Licausi, President of Bank of ALBA. Thank you very much, dear Minister, distinguished delegates, dear friends, dear Minister Ramon, Secretary. First, I would like to thank the hospitality of the people from Táchira for receiving this meeting as well as the efforts of the governor's and mayor's office and their team. During these days, we have witnessed the success of FitBen 2024, so for us it is a pleasure and an honor from ALBA. I'm also representing the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We also have the Vice Minister for Europe, Vice Minister Rubén Darío Molina, and we convey our greetings to the Foreign Minister of Venezuela. So from Bank of ALBA, we are eager to listen to your proposals in order to strengthen the touristic sector in our region. This space has allowed us to define concrete actions to boost this strategic sector in line with the proposals that came from the working tables. And we know these results are part of a declaration we will read in a few minutes. We from Bank of ALBA reiterate the fact that we are a financial ally to turn your proposals into concrete realities. We have the resources to finance some of the initiatives you have presented in the previous years. We are ready to boost promote projects in multi-destination sectors with touristic regional packages that offer a unique experience to our tourists. We can also finance promotion campaigns, joint promotion campaigns that will position ALBA as an attractive destination, and this allows us to reduce costs. We can also finance training and education programs. We have had interesting initiatives with institutions like INSES, but we must strengthen training in languages, hospitality, hotel management. We can also finance sustainability initiatives and the preservation of cultural heritage, as well as projects related to touristic infrastructure that will allow us to elevate the capacity of our destinations. A central point of our discussions is regional interconnection. We have discussed these issues with Minister Ramon Velázquez Araguayan with the objective of strengthening air and sea transportation in our countries. And this is fundamental in order to facilitate the mobilization of tourists so our destinations are competitive and affordable. So Bank of ALBA is ready to continue financing regional airlines. We have financed Conviasa in the past, along with Aliat, which is an Eastern Caribbean airline. We have also had conversations with Rutaca and Laser Airlines in order to improve interconnection. We can also finance the modernization of airports. We worked with St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and we were a part of the building of the airport in St. Vincent. And in Dominica, we are building the greatest infrastructure in the Caribbean, we could say. We are still in conversations with the Prime Minister's Carrot to deepen our financing there. So the work of the working tables is fundamental in order to have the improvement of infrastructure, tourism, and cultural promotion. And now we must turn those discussions into concrete projects that will position ALBA-TCP as an example of sustainable and inclusive tourism. I would like to thank you for your participation, for making the effort of visiting Venezuela, and I would like to ensure that we will continue working together in order to have tourism that will strengthen and showcase the beauties of our countries. Thank you very much.
Minute of the 6th ALBA-TCP ministers and high-level authorities on tourism of ALBA-TCP by Jorge Arreaza, Executive Secretary of ALBA. Thank you very much. Congratulations to all delegations, ministers and delegates for this successful meeting. We've seen that it had a very important work. I will read this document, which is very long. I will read the 25 agreements. I will read the main agreement. Among the topics, it was agreed to propose a hold in the first ALBA-TCP International Tourism Fair, to establish the calendar of 5th ALBA Fairs, for which the Venezuelan delegation proposed that it will be the host of the first 5th ALBA Summit at the beginning of the second quarter of 2026 in July, so that they advanced in their task. The Cuban delegation offered itself to host the second 5th ALBA Fair, and St. Kitts and Nevis to host the third 5th ALBA. This is not yet approved. It will be approved first by our president. So 2026 is very far. I thought that there was a mistake. I thought it was 2025, but yes, it is 2026. Second, to prepare a manual of good practices and a code of conduct for ALBA-TCP tourism service providers. To achieve this, Venezuela will send a draft to the Executive Secretary of ALBA-TCP to be distributed to the country. Third, to position tourist destinations based on their brand identity values proposed by delegations such as authenticity, inclusion, sustainability, cultural diversity, and hospitality. Fourth, to agree on the choice of the slogan from authorities out of the following three: ALBA-TCP, I Sea of Cultures, One Heart, Travel the ALBA, One Town, Many Cultures, Travel ALBA, United in Spirit, Reaching Culture. Fifth, to develop social networks of the Alliance Tourism brand and a website to promote destinations, events, and tourist routes. To this end, it is important to socialize the social networks of the Ministries of Tourism of all the ALBA-TCP countries. 6. To promote a billboard of cultural events from each of the countries in the bloc. To this end, it is proposed that the countries send their cultural activities of the last 6 months of the year 2025 in the first quarter of this year. 7th, to design an advertisement campaign that has the social media platform as its main drive. This is together with a strategy that includes the participation of national content creators from ALBA countries to promote destinations. 8th, to form a network among the officials from the tourism ministry of each member country to exchange information of interest on international events in the tourism area in which ALBA-TCP can participate as a bloc. To this end, we proposed to appoint a person in charge of tourism area within the Executive Secretariat of ALBA-TCP so that he or she will monitor all issues in the tourism area. 9th, to integrate within the website with the support of AI a modality of proposals of destinations according to the selection of multiple questions that the potential client answers based on their preferences and needs. 10th, to request the offer of training and education programs in the management of solid waste to support the sustainability of tourist destinations for the first quarter of 2025. 11th, make an inventory of the agroecological tourist route of artisans in ALBA-TCP countries to promote ecological packaging of artisanal products. 12. Exchange information on visa regime of ALBA-TCP member countries in order to identify the strategy for addressing the target markets. This information should be provided before the end of the first quarter of 2025. 13. To develop common criteria for ALBA-TCP member countries within the area of certification of processes for tourism and associated services and products so that they might be approved for multi-destination products. 14th, to hold the first virtual meeting in January 2025 with the officials of the Tourism Roundtable to present information on the visa regime of ALBA-TCP countries and information related to the adherence of the UN Tourism Code of Conduct for the protection of tourists of the countries of all of the lands. 15. Request the academic offer for the creation of professional profiles on tourism in languages in order to train communities to enhance tourism and create a literacy in their website by the end of the first quarter of 2025. 16th, to submit to the authorities of the ALBA-TCP countries the proposals to simplify migratory processes among the countries the countries of the bloc and a free transit area to facilitate the creation of and commercialization of multi-destination products. To this end, they will propose to implement an electronic ALBA visa. 17th, to work on the construction of an open universal marketing platform in the long term, allowing the payment of a single amount for tourists, thus diminishing the cost of services in different countries. 18th, to request an inventory of destination for the development of ALBA-TCP products before December 21st, 2024 under the categories gastronomic, cultural, heritage, archaeological, nature, wellness and health, medical, urban sport, while excluding others suggested by the countries, with the possibility of eventually expanding the offer as the inventory is developed. With the conference with representative of the marketing table before January 21st, 2025 to follow up and evaluate the actions to be taken, proposing the consolidation of a more solid proposal at the International Tourism Fair in Havana, scheduled for May next year. 19th, to convene a space for consultation on civil aviation matters within the framework of ALBA-TCP, with a first face-to-face meeting of authorities and airlines that will be held at the end of the first quarter of 2025. 20. To assess the signing of a memorandum of understanding on air services for ALBA-TCP members countries at the first face-to-face meeting of authorities and airlines at the end of the first semester of 2025. The ministers and high-level authorities on tourism agreed to review the instrument on air services signed with the countries of the alliance and to promote negotiations with those countries with which there is no air commercial relation in order to update the traffic routes to meet the new connectivity proposals. 21st, to recognize the importance of promoting actions aimed at facilitating operations. In this regard, the need to reduce the administrative times and timetables for the authorization of operating permits. 22nd, to assess the status of requests for operations promoted by Venezuelan airlines and in this way to contribute to the increase of routes to and from the Caribbean. 23rd, to design ALBA-TCP service portfolios with the potentialities and operational conditions in the civil aviation field in order to disseminate it among the aviation community for the assessment of opportunities. In this regard, states agreed to submit to the ALBA-TCP Executive Secretariat during the first quarter of 2025 information on their offers of services, highlighting airport conditions, available airlines, requirements for scheduled and non-scheduled operations, fares, ground services, among others considered relevant for such purpose. 24th, to promote training of aeronautical technical staff that is providing services in ALBA countries. In this regard, Venezuela offers the University Institute of Civil Aeronautics, UAC, and the Civil Aeronautics Training Center, CIAC. Likewise, they will send through the ALBA-TCP Executive Secretariat the academic offer available in these centers by February 25th. In the spirit of good relations between the ALBA-TCP countries And in order to strengthen the development, exchange, and connectivity among our countries, the ALBA-TCP tourism authorities stress the importance of guaranteeing the principles of international law, especially reciprocity, equal treatment, non-discrimination, and equal opportunities in relation to the operational incentives such as airport services, fuel, handling, landing, overflight, security, AFSEC, among others. All the working groups agreed to hold a second meeting a virtual meeting for the second week of February 2025 to present the progress and to develop new actions. Caracas, November 30th, 2024. Member countries present: Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, Republic of Cuba, Plurinational State of Bolivia, Republic of Nicaragua, Commonwealth of Dominica, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, Grenada, St. Lucia, and Republic of Honduras. Thank you very much.
The cooperation program has the objective of developing the activities mentioned in the working plan based on the values of sovereignty, reciprocity, as according to the legislation of the parties, as well as Article 2 of this instrument. Undersigning of the program in touristic matters between the Republic of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela and the Ministry of Tourism of the Republic of Nicaragua. This Memorandum of Understanding has the objective of establishing the regulations and coordination mechanisms of interaction and solidarity in order to promote and strengthen tourism for the interest and benefit of the parties. On behalf of the government of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela and the Executive Secretary of the Bolivarian Alliance for the Peoples of America, we thank you for attending and participating in the sixth meeting of Ministers and High Authorities of Tourism of the Bolivarian Alliance for the Peoples of America. In the framework of the 17th International Fair of Tourism, Táchira, Venezuela 2024, we invite high authorities to move towards the area in which we will take the official photo. Thank you.